You know the look, that iconic Birkin bag, flaunted like a crown jewel by celebrities, billionaires, and society's elite. It is far more than just a handbag. It is the ultimate emblem of status and exclusivity. That shape, that design, it is instantly recognizable. And for over 3 decades, we have been the powerhouse behind the scenes, crafting luxury for the world's most renowned names. From Gucci to Prada to Coach and even V, our OEM factory has quietly been the backbone of global high-end fashion, with a price tag circling the $40,000 mark, and that's if you can even get your hands on one. The Birkin bag is often treated like the crown jewel of high fashion. Sold as the pinnacle of luxury, brands like Forgy or Maze paint dreamy images, master artisans working under golden sunlight in the hidden ateliers of France, crafting bags that end up on Hermès shelves for around $38,000. But have you ever wondered what it really costs to make one of these? Let's pull back the curtain. To start, Hermès sources its leather from only 3 premium suppliers. One is based in Italy, another, known as High Mirror, operates out of Germany, and the third, called Glass, is from France. Just one piece of Togo leather, the same type used in this very bag, goes for about $450. But here's where it gets interesting. What if I told you that this so-called icon of elegance might not be everything it is cracked up to be? Recently, a viral video sent shockwaves through the fashion world, exposing a truth far grittier than the polished runway and glossy magazine pages suggest. That Birkin, the one idolized as the queen of couture, may not be lovingly handcrafted in Paris after all. The word on the street? Much of the production is actually happening in China. Yes, you heard that right. China. One single piece of leather is just enough to produce one Birkin bag. No more, no less. Now let us talk about the thread, because yes, even that detail is premium. For a true Hermès Birkin, only the highest grade thread is used, a specialty type called fil au chinois, sourced straight from France. It is basically the Rolls-Royce of threads, meant to symbolize refined French craftsmanship. But what if that symbol too is not what it appears? Behind the glossy narrative lies a startling twist. Many of these so-called French-made masterpieces might actually be assembled in Chinese factories for a fraction of the retail price. Here is how it works. The bags are reportedly manufactured in China, then shipped to Europe, where they are tagged with a Made in France label and sold for upwards of tens of thousands of dollars. The internet went wild when this bombshell surfaced, leaving fashion lovers stunned and demanding answers. If it is made in China, why are we paying luxury-level prices? And more importantly, why has the brand been silent about this for so long? This major revelation came courtesy of a whistleblower video leaked from inside a Chinese production facility. The man behind the footage had apparently grown tired of the smoke and mirrors and decided to expose the truth. According to him, the materials luxury brands often rave about, the leather, the stitching, the gleaming hardware, are not nearly as exclusive as they claim. He says the components are sourced from various suppliers across the globe, then assembled in Chinese factories at a low cost. As for the high-end thread used in each bag, that only adds about $25 to the production cost. Now let us dive into the leather, the part of the Birkin story that gets really intriguing. For years, Hermès has proudly claimed that only the crème de la crème of leather is used in its bags, sourced from elite suppliers like MTI in Italy, Vinheimer in Germany, and a mystery partner in France. Each hide? Around $450. Sounds ultra-exclusive, right? But here comes the twist. Sure, the leather is real, high-grade stuff. But the myth of an artisan carefully crafting each bag by candlelight in a romantic Parisian workshop, not quite the reality. At the end of the day, leather is still just leather, whether it comes from a French farm or a countryside in Italy. And now, several Chinese manufacturers have stepped forward, saying they received those exact same leather shipments directly from the top-tier European suppliers. So what is really happening? Those luxe Birkin bags. They are being stitched, molded, and assembled in China, not in the historic ateliers of France. And it is not just the leather. Let us talk about the other components too. The edge oil, used to seal the bag's finish, is a premium Italian product, priced at $50 per bag. The soft interior? That is lambskin, imported from France, running about $100 each. Even the zippers, made by the Swiss brand Riri, cost $10 per unit. The thread? That is the famed fil au chinois, a luxury thread from France known for its durability and fine texture, about $25 per bag. And the hardware? Top-grade 316L ocean-grade stainless steel. This is no flimsy metal. It resists rust and keeps that icy shine for years. So yes, the materials are top shelf. No debate there. But what really flips the narrative is where all these parts come together. Not in Paris, not in Lyon, but in Chinese factories, far from the old-world charm of European luxury houses. And that is the part Hermès does not like to talk about. Oh, Hermès wants the world to believe that every Birkin is stitched with Parisian pride. But let us talk numbers. Labor costs in these Chinese facilities? Roughly $600 per bag. Packaging? Just $10. When you crunch it all together, leather, hardware, lining, thread, zipper, edge oil, labor, packaging, the real production cost for one bag comes out to about $400. That bombshell came straight from the whistleblower in that now viral video, and he did not mince words. While Hermès promotes the Birkin as if it is born in the heart of Paris by the hands of seasoned artisans, the reality might be far less romantic and much more global. The reaction online? Explosive. Social media erupted with frustration and disbelief. People who dropped $40,000 on a Birkin are now questioning everything, especially when they learn it may have rolled off an assembly line in China, not a boutique workshop in France. Some feel downright betrayed, accusing Hermès of misleading the public for years. Others wave it off, calling the controversy fake news and blaming the whistleblower for causing chaos. But this conversation goes beyond geography. Many now say the argument is not even about where the bag is made, it is about what the price really represents. So why does Hermès charge $38,000 for a Birkin? Because over 90% of that price is not for the leather or the craftsmanship. It is for the name, the brand's logo, the status it carries, the image it projects. And here is where the debate heats up. If someone offers you a visually identical bag, same top-tier materials, same edge oil, same buttery leather, same polished hardware, but without the logo, should you still pay 30 times more? For many, it starts to look like people are buying an illusion, not a product. That price tag is not just for a purse, it is for prestige. And it is not just everyday shoppers speaking out now. Even fashion analysts and industry veterans are weighing in, peeling back the glossy surface of luxury to ask, what are we really paying for? The craftsmanship or the clout? Some people are still standing by Hermès, arguing that even if production happens in China, the brand continues to deliver unmatched quality and craftsmanship at a luxury standard. To them, the Birkin's value lies in its flawless execution, regardless of geography. But for a growing number of critics, that argument no longer holds weight. They are voicing their frustration, demanding transparency, and a complete overhaul of the luxury game. These skeptics are shining a light on what they see as a carefully crafted illusion, one where elite brands like Hermès and Louis Vuitton hide behind an image of French exclusivity and timeless elegance. According to them, the romance of European luxury is just that, a story. A well-packaged myth meant to justify sky-high prices and maintain an air of untouchable prestige. Behind the curtain, the truth is not so glamorous. The only real difference? We do not stamp a logo on the bag, so there is no need to shell out a fortune just for a name. Plus, our labor costs are far more reasonable. That is how we offer the same bag, crafted with even greater attention to detail, for just $1,000. What people do not realize is that a massive portion of luxury bag production is quietly happening in regions with lower labor expenses. And honestly, the whole setup is starting to look a bit sketchy, but it gets even more tangled. Hermès is not alone in the spotlight anymore. High-end giants like Gucci, Prada, Coach, and Louis Vuitton are also being called out, with reports suggesting that parts of their manufacturing pipelines run through China and other low-cost hubs across the globe. Now here is the contradiction that has folks scratching their heads. Hermès markets its bags as being meticulously handcrafted in France and their watches as Swiss-made. But if you are spending thousands, Do you not deserve full transparency? Are you really buying artisanal craftsmanship or just a luxury label sewn on like any mass-produced item? Luxury brands are under intense scrutiny right now. This is not just internet gossip. It feels like a turning point. The idea of luxury itself is being redefined. In 2025, the word luxury no longer carries the same weight it once did. Consumers have evolved. They are questioning, researching, demanding answers. Gone are the days when a sky-high price tag automatically meant trust. People want evidence, and when brands like Hermès stay silent, the digital world only gets louder. Comment sections erupt, hashtags catch fire, and still, no statement, no clarification, not even a carefully worded post. Just silence. While Hermès stays mum, some rival brands are finally speaking up, publicly denying the claims. NBC News even reported that a few fashion houses are now trying to distance themselves from the controversy, eager to preserve their image before the backlash spreads any further. Meanwhile, companies like Louis Vuitton are being super upfront about their production practices. You can actually go on their website and see where and how their stuff is made. And let's not forget some of the viral TikToks that helped stir this drama have been fact-checked and called out for being misleading. It's a messy situation. Conrad Quilty Harper, the guy behind Dark Luxury, told The Independent that folks are mixing up sketchy knockoff factories with legit production spots in China. He explained that these real factories know exactly how to play the social media game, and they're slick at making Western shoppers fall in love with their version of luxury. Even France 24 looked into it and shared similar thoughts. Some of the claims are fuzzy, but the impact, oh, it's real. True or not, the whole mess has already shaken how people view these big-name brands, and now tons of folks online are done. They're ditching the hype and calling for a major wake-up in the luxury space. But the silence from Hermès, that's what's screaming the loudest right now. In a world where silence feels like guilt, people are left wondering, what are they really hiding that these are the bags that we manufacture? I noticed he didn't say Hermès when he called out all the brands like Prada, Louis Vuitton, Coach, but the implication was very clearly there, and if Hermès products, specifically their bags, are made from beginning to end in France. With all these viral clips spreading like wildfire, it wouldn't be shocking if Hermès decides to quietly pull the plug on some Birkin models. If the rumors about where these bags are really being made turn out to be legit, halting production could be their way of trying to save face, especially with the brand's reputation now hanging by a thread. And if that happens, folks who already dropped major cash for deposits or joined those infamous wait lists, they could be stuck waiting even longer. This ain't new territory either. Hermès has faced heat in the past. Lawsuits and insider reports have already hinted at shady practices messing with how they fulfill orders, like that lawsuit in California. It claimed Hermès was forcing customers to buy other pricey stuff, scarves, jewelry, just to even qualify for a shot at buying a Birkin. On top of that, people have been left on wait lists for months, even years, without any real promise they'd ever get the bag. So now, if all this noise about the Birkin's origins turns out to be true, Hermès might have no choice but to pause production to clean up the mess. Why would their valuation drop with the news that Chinese manufacturers are spilling the tea? It says right here on their website, the vast majority of our products are manufactured in France. They talk about sourcing cashmere from Mongolia, blah, 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 but absolutely nothing about China. And those purses that man was standing in front of were identical to Hermès bags. Correct. So does this mean Hermès has been misleading everyone? If that turns out to be true, the fallout could be brutal. Because let us be honest, customers will not stay patient forever. It is only a matter of time before people start demanding their money back or even threatening lawsuits, especially in countries with strict truth in advertising laws. Selling a bag as made in France when it is not? That is not just shady, it is illegal. And if the courts agree, Hermès could find itself in deep legal trouble, with potential fraud charges looming and millions of dollars on the line. But it is not just about lawsuits. The ripple effect is already hitting the resale market hard. Sellers are scrambling to unload their Birkins before the prices nosedive, while others are clinging tightly to their investments, praying the brand's image recovers and values rebound. But the real curveball? Authentication services are now in a bind. If a bag is marketed as French-made but actually stitched up in a Chinese facility, how can authenticators confidently verify anything? What exactly are they confirming? The brand, the craftsmanship, or just a story? It is like the entire foundation of the luxury resale world has been shaken. Collectors are nervous too. If authenticity becomes this murky, then what is left of that coveted elite status? The whole appeal of exclusivity starts to crumble when no one can tell what is genuine anymore. People feel deceived, like they bought into a dream that might have been manufactured just as cleverly as the product itself. And while Hermès is feeling the heat, their rivals are all watching closely. Some are silently enjoying the chaos, secretly thrilled to see the crown jewel of luxury take a hit. Others, they are sweating, worried they might be next in line for scrutiny. Because if a brand like Hermès can be exposed like this, then who is safe? How long until another luxury label, dressed up in French prestige, gets caught outsourcing while still demanding sky-high prices? And here's the real twist. People might not have been this furious if Hermès had just been honest from the start. Imagine if they had come forward and said, "Yes, we use elite materials from across the globe and partner with international factories, but every step meets our gold standard." That kind of transparency could have softened the blow. Instead, they doubled down on the fantasy. They kept selling that polished story, each bag delicately hand-stitched by artisans in a quaint Parisian workshop. But now the illusion is unraveling, and there is no patching it back together. So where does that leave them? Because in luxury, the real currency is trust. And once that foundation starts to crack, the entire brand begins to shake. Customers are not buying into the story anymore. The fashion elite, influencers who once flaunted their Birkins like holy grails, are now flipping the narrative, dragging the brand online with videos titled, "I spent $30,000 on a lie," and those posts are spreading fast. Hermès tried to push back, saying they only work with approved manufacturers and warning people about misinformation and counterfeits. They even echoed brands like Lululemon, urging buyers to stick to official stores. But this is not just a PR crisis, it is a full-on reckoning. Hermès is at a defining moment. They can either own up, earn back the public's trust, and redefine what luxury means in today's world, or cling to a story that no one believes anymore, and slowly watch their relevance slip away. Let's be real. Today, luxury is about more than just the product itself. It's about the story behind it. For years, the company has insisted their goods are crafted exclusively in Europe and the US, as their website proudly claims. But right now, that narrative is looking seriously tangled. Here's a curveball. These rumors and exposés blew up right after